What's up, Inkie peeps? It's Del from Inkie Quill, and today we're doing a grab 5 challenge. So play along at home, grab 5 similar items from your stash and make a project life page, make a scrapbook page, art journal layout, whatever you like. First up, I've got roller stamps. I will admit I almost forgot to use these, but I managed to squeeze them in the end. I've got a 6x6 paper pad that I've taken lots of chunks out of with some punching of shapes. I've also using these little tags that we made in a Patreon video a couple of months ago. It was such a fun video to film, and I repurposed some clothing tags. Definitely want to do this again because my supply is dwindling. I've used a lot of them up. Then I've got these epoxy stickers. They came in a kit and I haven't used them yet. If you don't have stickers like this, you could use puffy stickers or some sort of dimensional sticker. And I've got lastly a half-used sticker sheet. So they're my 5 items. Play along at home and let me know what you create. So the first thing I'm doing is, because I'm not using any Project Life cards per se, I'm just using my paper pad to make my own cards. I'm figuring out where I want these tags to go, because the tags really will, whichever tags I use, it will heavily influence whatever papers I choose to cut 3x4 cards out of. So I decide on these 2, and the reason why I went with them, that bottom middle one is very flowery and it's got a little bit of green in it, so it matches the 2 photos either side. And I also chose that other one because it said, I think it said be amazed, I think it said, and Archie has, I put up these posters. Now, funny story about these posters, Archie has taken to picking walls, and any tiny little bump or slight dent in the paint, he likes to pick the paint so it comes up and then try and eat the plaster. So that's not really what you want for your child to do. And so I found some of my posters that I used when I taught kindergarten, and I just had them in the garage sitting around doing nothing. And so I put them on the walls to cover up the holes that he has created, because I don't want him eating plaster. And it's been really good because he loves animals. And so he now knows, he probably knows 2/3 of the animals on that chart, the names of them. So if you say where's the elephant, he'll point to where it is and make the noise, and so it's actually worked out beneficial in the end. So now I'm cheating. Instead of using a paper trimmer, I'm just using a actual 3x4 Project Life card from my stash, and I'm using that as a bit of a template to cut out my shapes, because I couldn't be bothered to get my paper trimmer out. I really enjoy cutting with scissors. I know that sounds silly, but some people are paper trimmer people and some people are scissor people, and it's fine no matter what direction you go, because I just like scissors because they're quick and easy and I don't have to fiddle around as much with them. So with this clothing tag, one of them, I think I tried to peel the back off because it was quite a thick tag, and I'm really trying this year, trying being the key word, to minimize the thickness of my albums. Now, I will say, I think I've scrapped, this layout is from June, because I did exactly what I did last year, and I printed January to March, and I've done that. That's basically all done, give or take maybe 5 pages or so. But then I fell behind with photo printing, and I needed to print photos, so I just printed some of June, July, I think, and I have missed April, May, and most of June. So I will go back and scrap those. I'm currently, this week I've been printing out the photos for them, so I will get there eventually. So far, I think I have 3 albums for this year, which is pretty good. Keep in mind I haven't scrapped April, May, June yet, but it's getting there. So I just stuck my tag down there, and I'm kind of using these lines as a bit of a guide, but I like to write small. And does anyone else write small and find it really hard with these? Not that this is a journaling card designed that way, but with pre-designed journaling cards that have lines, I find it really difficult because my writing is smaller than the lines kind of suggest. And so that's why when I make the printables, I try to avoid having lines. I do sometimes, but I try to avoid it because I know that myself, I struggle using lines. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'd be interested to hear that if anyone else struggles with that. I decided to try and incorporate some of the pink from that grid paper that I used for the background of that other card, and a little I love you here, and I'm just making a little cluster. I've got some puffy stickers from my stash just to tie in. There's a blue dot. It doesn't really look like it stands out here on camera, but the blue dot in the middle of that tag, it really stands out as being blue, and there's not a lot of other blue things around it, and so I felt like I needed to tie it in using that little puffy heart, and I used some gold, of course, because who doesn't love a little bit of a gold glitter heart or star on a layout? I'm sure there's people out there, and that's okay too, but for me it just completes everything. This next photo was taken at a friend's birthday, and this is our friend's dog Theo, and Archie and Theo had a great old time digging in the garden together. If Archie was an animal, I was thinking about this the other day, I think he'd be either a really fluffy curly haired dog or a monkey. He's very all over the place and loves to get dirty and muddy, and so he and Theo had a great old time in this garden bed. I'm using a label from, it's a Felicity Jane one I think, and some stickers from that sticker sheet, and I tried to use the other half down here and it does work. I think it looks a little bit random, but it worked, and it was better than throwing the other half of it out. So if you do like to overlap stickers off the edge like I do, when you do cut it, just have a little look and see if you can stick it anywhere else on your page, just to use it up, I guess, and get more bang for your buck with your stash. I decided to use another puffy heart. Basically, these puffy hearts only came into my stash recently and I love them. And once you use one puffy heart, you want to use all the puffy hearts. And so I definitely wanted to keep using them on this page. This is a photo of little Poppet, and she's just gazing out at the sunshine outside. And I have a bit of trouble sometimes with these crepe paper 6x12 sticker sheets. By some of the pieces, I guess, are more like layering stickers. I used that tag there, the ticket, sorry, it's a ticket kind of shape behind the epoxy sticker, and I think it worked well because the brown is the color of Poppet and the black ties in the epoxy sticker. But it's a sticker that I've been having a lot of trouble with. I keep peeling it off and then putting it back on the sticker sheet and not using it. So I'm glad I actually got it used. So if you do play along with this Grab 5 challenge, I hope that you can get some use out of maybe some stickers or some embellishments that you've tried to use in the past and then decided not to, and you've tried again and decided not to. I hope you can try and get some of those onto your pages. I'm adding a little bit more journaling down here using my Pilot G2 pen as always. Tonight actually, my plan is to hop on to Jet Pens, which I've heard many fantastic things about. It's an online stationery I got a bit of a tongue tie there. Stationery store that sells all sorts of magical things, so I'm hoping to buy some new pens. Actually, I'll go on tomorrow. If you've got any tips for pens that you really love, please let me know in the comments, and I might see if they hop into my shopping basket, because I do always love to try a new pen. I generally love like a finer tip rather than a chunky tip. But yes, let me know if you've got any recommendations and I'll have a look at them tomorrow. For this next one, I wanted to do some journaling, and I also I really wanted to use this smile sticker. Basically, tied in some of the green in some of the photos, and I thought I should use it while I can. And so I'm kind of altering this piece of paper to make it look like it's not one whole sheet of hearts. And I really love the look of it. So this is something that if you're wanting to start Project Life but don't want to invest in the Project Life core kits, which honestly you don't need to, they have so many cards in them, it's crazy. You could always make your own layered Project Life cards per se out of scrapbook paper and just bits and pieces of embellishment. There's some note paper there, some stickers, some labels, and you can make your very own cards. I did a video, I want to say last December, making some filler cards for Project Life. I might actually, that's given me an idea, I might this month or next month film another DIY Project Life card video, but instead make journaling cards. So show different ways to make some journaling cards. Yes, I'm going to write that down after I finish this voiceover so I don't forget, because they're really fun to make. They're like giant DIY embellishments, I guess you could say. So here I'm just adding a couple of tiny word stickers, and then I felt like it needed a doodly border just to tie everything in together. The other reason why I like making my own little journaling cards like this is because you get to use up some of those layering pieces, like your labels, and like I was talking about on that crepe paper sheet, those weird ticket shaped ones and things like that that you normally might not reach for on your pages. If they're already on an embellishment or a card that you can just pick up and use, then they'll actually get used and they won't just sit in your stash. So here I've got a photo of our friend Ben came over and helped me edit some videos for a class that is hopefully coming out in September. I'm really hoping so. I've got five videos left to film in my junk journal class, and then I'm hoping to get it out to you guys at the end of the month. We'll see how we go. And so he came over to help me edit a couple of videos, and Archie was just loving it. He was sitting in the high chair next to him eating his lunch and just chatting away to Ben, and I thought it was a really cute photo of the two of them together. Archie's mullet. So Archie, this is very baby heavy. I'm sorry if you don't like babies, but it is my life. Archie has a real bad mullet at the moment. The problem is he has very curly hair, just like I did when I was a younger little thing, and he lost his hair in a strange way when he was a newborn. Instead of losing the back part of his hair or the sides of his hair, he lost the top, and so he looked like a very strange monk. He was bald on top and then just had hair all around his ears and the back of his head, and the top of his head has always taken a little bit of extra time to grow, but the back of his hair is just growing like there's no tomorrow. So you can't tell that he has a mullet normally because they're little ringlets, but when it's wet, it's hilarious. So I had to snap this photo of him. We haven't got his hair cut yet, and I don't want to yet. We'll wait until it becomes a bit of an issue and it's just too long in his eyes, I think, because his curls are just too adorable. So I'm all done popping these back in here, but alas, I realize I haven't used my roller stamps, and whenever I do the jazz hands, I quickly go through the 5 items if I've done a grab 5, and just to check that I have actually included them all. And it's about now that I realize, hang on a minute, there's roller stamps right next to me, but I haven't actually used them yet. So I go through, and luckily with roller stamps, it was a grab 5 ingredient, I guess you could say, that's small. So I could still squeeze them in here, there, and everywhere. Luckily, I hadn't forgotten something huge like those tags or something, because I'd have no hope of squeezing them in. So I'm just picking a couple of phrases and sticking those where there's a bit of space. I'm stamping right onto the photo here. I'm using the Dilutions black paint and it works quite nicely on photos, so that seems to work out well, I guess. I'm not an ink expert by any means, but it seems to work for me, so hopefully it might work for you if you're looking for a black ink to stamp on photos. And now the page is all done. I really love the way this one looks with all of the writing, the handwriting, and it also just seems very coordinated, which is nice. Hope you enjoyed this Grab 5 challenge. Let me know if you play along at home, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!